What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss last Saturday's UFC 322 in its entirety from top to bottom. But guys, before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. Starting from the top, Islam Makhachev dominates Jack Della Maddalena to become the new welterweight champion and achieve double champ status. Now, obviously, he's not the simultaneous champ, but that doesn't fucking matter, right? Looked massive, right? Islam Makhachev looked fucking massive going up to 170. You could totally tell that he really has been just scarfing down that creatine after the fight. He looked just like a fucking balloon. Like the way that he just looked jacked as fuck. It was so impressive the way that he was able to build the weight and look even better at 170. Jack Della had no answers. The first round, he showed life. He tried to get some scrambles. He was able to get back to his feet. He did try and catch Islam coming in, but just couldn't. Couldn't find anything to clip Islam. He got close a couple times when it got wild, but Islam, his execution of the single legs, the double legs, and just the smothering fucking control would not give Jack a second to breathe in that fight. And flawless, beautiful, right? Now, I know everybody's still talking about the Ilya fight with Islam, but I think that would only require Ilya to go up to 170. I officially don't think that Islam can make 155 ever again, seeing how big he looked at 170, and also with the history of guys going up and going back down. I'm not a big fan of that. We saw what happened with Max Holloway. It's never a good look, and people's bodies, fighters' body, athletes' bodies don't really react very well from that type of fluctuation, especially so quickly. But I think Islam being at 170, I mean, there's a plethora of options for him. You got Morales, you got Usman, you got Brady, you got Shavkat, you got Gary, you got Bilal Muhammad. Like, what the fuck? And then the guy he just dispatched in Jack, right? All these guys, the pool of the welterweight division, almost any of these guys can be champion on any given night. But now we got Islam here, who I don't know if any of these guys beat him. Like, holy shit. I mean, I'm in. Like, I don't know why I wasn't so... I was in with him at 55. I thought at 170. I wasn't sure how it was going to translate. It fucking translated perfectly. Perfectly. So I think Morales is next. Even though Islam said that he would rather fight Usman. He said that he thought Usman would beat both Morales and Prates. So he did call out Usman. And if the UFC gives him what he wants, we might be seeing Islam versus Usman next for the welterweight belt, which I wouldn't be mad about. Like, the resume that Usman had, the time he had as champion, and then him coming off that dominant win over Joaquin Buckley, not mad about it. But I think Morales should be the next guy. I think, they already said that was the title eliminator fight. And the way that he was able to put away Sean Brady, I think Michael Morales is next for Islam Makhachev. What a fight. That would be a crazy fight. That would be a crazy fight. But yeah, next up for Jack, he just looked dejected. Didn't really have any answers. We won't know if there was an injury or anything like that, but regardless, right? Like, I mean, that was tough. And I think a good opportunity for him to bounce back, I think a guy like Sean Brady. I think, like if Sean was the winner and if Jack was the winner, that would have been the fight anyways. So I think since they were both the losers, match them up. And it'll give another opportunity for Jack to work on his wrestling against another guy who has smothering top control like Sean Brady. And I think it would be a good opportunity for Sean Brady to, work his game against strikers. How Jack is such a, elite boxer in MMA. Yeah, what a fight. What a main event. What a title fight. Next up, Valentina Shevchenko dominates Weili Zhang on her opportunity to go up to fight 125 in a new weight class, the complete opposite of the spectrum, where Valentina whooped Weili in every facade of the game, bigger, stronger, faster, and, over 5 rounds, just Weili had no fucking answers, right? No answers. And Valentina could have finished this fight several times. And one thing I want to say earlier, People were mad that Islam wasn't able to finish the fight. You guys really think he wasn't trying to finish the fight? Jack was doing everything he could to stay alive. He just couldn't do much to really do anything else besides stay alive. But anyways, Valentina in this fight, though, I think au contraire. I think she could have, if she really, really, really tried, she could have put Weili away in this fight. I really do believe that. And I remember watching it throughout the fight, almost just being like, okay, I feel like she's just playing with her food at this point. Or just didn't want to take the risk to lose, which I wasn't a fan of. But hey, this is MMA, right? This is MMA. If you're not a fan of wrestling, jiu-jitsu, the sport itself, don't watch it. Go watch Muay Thai. Go watch kickboxing. They need the viewers anyways. They're great sports. But if you hate MMA, don't fucking watch it. It's annoying as shit. The fans are insufferable. But anyways, Valentina won, dominated. What's next for her? I don't even know. I forgot the girl's name. Was it Natalia Silva? I think it's Natalia Silva. The one who just beat Alexa Grasso. That would probably be the next lady for Valentina. As for Weili, go back down, get your belt back, girl. Go fight Mackenzie Dern. That's the fight to make. Instant title shot. Go right back to your division in a fight that I think she wins. All right, guys. Next up, Michael Morales knocks out Sean Brady in the first round in a fight where everybody, that was the big question, right? Can Sean break that distance on Michael Morales? Tall, long, and lanky, uses his range very well, fights long, right? Great leverage. Has been flawless throughout his career. Like, he hasn't lost, right? And Brady just wasn't able to break the distance. It's not that he looked bad. It's just how good Michael Morales is, right? I think now, this is the conversation that we're having where with a big win like this, just the way he just whacked just Sean Brady right on the temple, dude. Just that was it. Just put him away. I want to see what he can do against Islam. That'll be really cool. I think it's a cool fight. I don't think he wins. But I would like to see that tall, long, rangy style, precision fighter. I'd like to see him use that leverage against Islam's takedowns, which I think Islam just fucking wraps those legs up. But I think that's the clear fight to make next for Michael Morales. Sorry. The guy, he just looks better and better and better every single time. And people are able to slow him down, but that's really about it. And as for Sean Brady, right, like, the only time he's lost to anybody is elite. Bilal, and now here, Michael Morales. I like the fact that Sean takes risks. He didn't have to take this fight. He needed to take a fight, and this was the fight to take, I guess. But, dude's a fucking dog. What he did to Leon Edwards, it shows where he stands in the elite of the division. And I think against Jack Della Maddalena, I think that's a great matchup next for him. It'd be an opportunity for him to also, just keep working against strikers. And and it can give him an opportunity where Jack struggled in the wrestling for him to kind of capitalize on that as well. I think that's a really good matchup. Jack versus Sean Brady next. But Sean, I don't think he loses any hype. I'm still really excited to see whatever this fucking guy does. And, I don't think this is a loss that you hang your head on. I think, especially in MMA, not everybody goes undefeated. So it's the ups and downs. And I think we're expected to see Sean Brady back and successful within the UFC. Next up, what was it? Carlos Prates knocks out Leon Edwards. Holy shit. Now, my concern was in this fight, was it going to end up being a tactical snooze fest? And in a sense, it was a snooze fest, but just for Leon Edwards, right? Where he looked, the first round kind of was looking that way, a little boring. Leon was being very technical, was able to get the back of Carlos Prates, but he wasn't really being effective. But I really felt that he was definitely doing more than enough to win the very first round. And I remember seeing Carlos looking very dejected going into round two, and I'm like, oh man, like I don't like what I see, right? And then he just goes out there and flatlines Leon with just the most crisp straight, dude. The most crisp straight that you can get right on the fucking mouth. Put him away. Literally lifted him off his fucking feet. In a beautiful victory, right? Leon asked for a striker. He got one. Now we saw how that played out, and now a lot of people want Leon to retire. I forgot who I thought I wanted him to fight, but it made sense to me at the time. Fuck. Fucking made sense to me at the time. But the fact he went out there and tested himself against an up-and-coming killer like this, a guy who was tall, long, and rangy, big fan of that. So for Leon Edwards, that's why I respect the fighters who take the risk and take the tough fights. And this is exactly what that was. So, all jokes aside, Leon's a killer. He's had a phenomenal career, former champion. So whatever he does next, I'm watching. And as for Carlos Prates, man, this fucking guy smoking cigarettes, getting the job done, just being a true fighter. Like, he is the definition of what you call a true fighter. He's not one of these athletes. He's a guy where he's a warrior, bro. Like, I hate to say it's cringy as fuck to say that out loud, but this guy is like a true, the definition of a guy who doesn't give a fuck anywhere, anytime, anyone who's going for it. And what's next for Prates? Fuck. I don't know. I don't really know what's next for Prates. I mean, Shavkat, do you give him Shavkat? But he's still hurt. I feel like I almost don't even want to talk about Shavkat because he's hurt. But I think Prates and Shavkat would be a really good fight. That would make a lot of sense to me. As for Leon, I don't know, right? I'm kind of conflicted on that because he's in his late 30s now. And it's like, I don't know. You got guys coming up. I don't know. I'm kind of off on that one. I just want to see him take some time off because that was a nasty knockout. But as for Prates, I think Shavkat would be a great fight. But if Bilal beats Gary, that would be a good fight too. But I don't want to see a rematch between Prates and Gary. If that makes sense. I don't want to see that. I don't care about that. But man, what a fucking performance. Next up, guys. But not blah, 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 blah. BSD, Benoit Saint-Denis, Jesus Christ, knocks out Beneil Dariush. Holy crap. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, guys. In like 15 seconds, right? Dariush opens up with a fucking massive leg kick, drops BSD, and then the second they clinch up, cracks him with an overhand in the clinch, tight guard, and just sent Dariush to the floor, face down, ass up, quick, decisive victory. Puts BSD now on, 3 in a row? Where now you could really start putting him up against those guys who are still within the conversation of titles. Because this was kind of, who's really going to get that next push again? Because Dariush has been up and down. He was once that, one fight away from a title shot when he had the fight with Charles Oliveira. It didn't go his way, and then he just kind of went on a skid, right? Came back, got the win over Moicano, so it's like, okay, does he still have it? And then the same question for BSD. Does he still have it? Because he's coming off 2 wins, but even though he had those few losses, let's put these guys together. We saw what happened. So BSD is next to go up. I don't, who does he fight next? Don't care. But more of the question for me is Dariush. I think I hate saying retire. I hate it. But I think when it comes to being in MMA, I don't want to see him compete anymore. I'd like to see him in grappling competitions. That would be something I would really enjoy to see. But when it comes to MMA, we're not seeing the Dariush of old, right? And it's like, why are you going to continue doing this to yourself if this is the result? Because he is good, but it's like his body's failing him, his chin is failing him, and it's hard to see as a fan, right? So I'd like to see him in some grappling competitions where he's not taking any brain damage. But big win for BSD. Big win, big knockout. Get himself right back on track. Next up, Bo Nickel. Holy fucking shit. Head kick knockout over Rodolfo Vieira. Nobody saw that coming. To really get himself right back in. Dominated Vieira the first 2 rounds. Was just pushing the pace. Overwhelming. He just had more in his arsenal. And he looked bigger. He looked a lot bigger. I keep forgetting how fucking big Bo Nickel is. How tall he is. How rangy he is. Right? I got confused by how the physique of Rodolfo Vieira. But he's not that tall. And Bo just looked bigger, stronger, faster, more in his arsenal. His striking was more fluid. He was just kind of bullying Vieira as the fight went on and then just snuck in the most sick head kick out there. Fucking impressive. It was cool. It's cool to see. And, I did say that I thought a loser would get cut. I agree still on that. I think Vieira, I think that's kind of a wrap with his UFC career. He had a couple wins, had some moments, but just, ultimately didn't work out for him when it comes to being a ranked guy. But the guy's decorated in the jiu-jitsu world, like highly decorated. So, he's had a cool career, a versatile career. And as for Bo Nickel, put himself right back into that win column. Now, guys, let's relax. Let's let 2026 be a year of building. Let's let 2026 be a year of rounding out the skill set. Let's let him rack some wins against guys who are kind of still around where Vieira was ranked. I'd like to see Bo Nickel have 3 fights next year where he is able to just showcase his skills. Not gimme fights, but guys who are at his level right now. I don't want to push him again too fast. We saw what happens when he fights guys who are they have more to offer. More of an arsenal. I don't want to say more to offer. That sounded rude. More of an arsenal. And I think until we let Bo build up his own arsenal and his own skill set, it would be nice to see him go out there and just compete against guys at his level and let him build his confidence at the same time. If that makes sense. Or is that like a Dana White privilege thing? I don't know. I think it's the dumbest shit ever. Listen, if you fight well, if you have potential, if you have like that it factor, right? If you have all those things, it makes sense for a company to promote you no matter what company you're at, right? For anyone saying that like Conor has Dana White, who else is Conor McGregor? He is literally the modern day Bruce Lee, but actually like competes. Like think about that shit. You're not going to get that anywhere else. Of course they fucking built him up, right? But they also tried to put a lot of other guys, when they put you in, anything could happen, right? That's what I love about MMA, right? You have like these huge underdogs who go out there and just fucking change everything. We're going to be talking about that again with Ethan Embry here in a few fucking minutes. So, I mean, you could talk about building somebody up all you want, having Dana White privilege all you want. At the end of the day, you still got to perform. You still got to show out. So, I don't know. That's that on that. But Bo, I don't know who to fight next. I don't know. But I'm excited again. He's back in that spot. But watch all the fans go back and be like, oh, Bo's the best. Everybody was hating on him so fucking bad. It's annoying as shit. Pick a side. Pick a side, fans. Don't be so fickle. It's a sport we love. Let's enjoy it. Let's respect it. That's what this show is for. But yeah. Next up, Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez defeats Roman Kopylov by decision in a fight where, just was the bigger guy, more athletic guy. And it was a lot the same with Roman versus Paulo Costa, where he just wasn't physical enough. And by the end of the fight, he wasn't able to find that kill shot. He was taking damage. The size, the pressure of Gregory Rodriguez was wearing on Roman. And that was kind of the difference maker, was just the physicality, the strength, the size. Gregory's a big motherfucker. Now in the third round, you saw Rodriguez kind of gas out a little bit. But the guy's cutting fucking 40 pounds? Like 35, 40 fucking pounds. So it's expected, At some point, I'm sure we're going to have to see him go up to light heavyweight as he gets a little older, because he's a lot younger than what he looks, right? He kind of has that Vanderlei Silva look where he just looks like he's 45 years old, but he's like, I think he's my age. He's like 31, 32. Yeah, great win for RoboCop. Am I crazy to think Paulo Costa, RoboCop next? Be a fun fight. They're both coming off the wins over Kopylov. Makes sense. Both guys built like a brick shithouse. I think it would be exciting. As for Roman, he's like a tweener, right? He's too big for welterweight, too small for middleweight. Like, what are you going to do, right? But at the end of the day, he's fun. He's going to knock out. He's like a gatekeeper, right? He's going to knock out anybody on their way up. fun, tactical striker, precision striker, head kicks. Fun to watch. But I just don't see him breaking that ranking. I just don't see it happening. Yeah, I just don't think he has the size for it. But next up, guys, oh man, Aaron Blanchfield chokes out Tracy Cortez in the second round in a weird rear naked choke where she has no hooks in. But the first round wasn't looking good for her. You know, Tracy Cortez was able to establish her range. Aaron was not able to really break that distance and grab onto a single leg. And she just wasn't really able to capitalize off of anything. And I remember going in round 2 like, oh shit, might be a long night for Aaron, which I wanted Aaron to win this fight. You know, I wanted her to get that dub. I'm a big fan. And then that dog comes out round 2 and just blasts a double leg. I mean, it just makes Tracy, just punishes Tracy on the ground, was just relentless and just did not let the moment pass. I remember thinking, like, dude, she just got to blast a double leg. And boy, fucking did she. Went out there, got the fight to the ground, got the rear naked choke with no hooks in, and was just able to find the fucking choke. It was crazy. I don't know. You just see her mentally break Tracy in that moment. I don't know, maybe the first round Tracy just didn't have the cardio anymore. Because, I mean, Aaron just has a relentless pressure, right? Like, she doesn't look good sometimes until she looks really good. Like, once she's able to kind of slow her opponent down, then you start seeing her work out those strengths, especially when they're more of the elite strikers. Because Aaron is a little flat-footed, and it's just, she's kind of not very well versed in the striking department. But her grappling her pressure kind of is able to open that up later on in the fight. But great win. Great fucking win. Great fight. Good for Aaron. I'd like to see a rematch with Manon Fiorot. I'd like to see what she's been able to learn since their last fight. I'd like to see that happen. But nonetheless, great win for Aaron Blanchfield. As for Tracy, right, she was looking good. She was looking good until she wasn't. So I think it's all about staying focused, staying on the game plan, working on the cardio, and just staying focused. I think maybe she lost focus in that fight, but maybe the pressure of Aaron just got to her too. I mean, that's tough to deal with, dude. Just someone just always fucking on you. So, I mean, even though she got choked out in a really weird way, I don't really think she loses much traction. I think, number 8 in the world? And where I'm not the biggest fan of Tracy, I know she's great. She's a great fighter. She showed that in the first round against Aaron. And if she can just stick to her game plan a little bit better, we can see her do a lot of damage against a lot of fighters in the women's division. Next up, man, I said Ethan Embry earlier. Ethan Ewing. Ethan Embry's an actor. But Ethan Ewing defeats Malcolm Wellmaker by decision on short notice, 2 days notice, in a fight that was like, what the fuck, right? Malcolm did not look like he was ready for a scrap. He just looked like he was happy to be there. And I'm not shitting on him, right? This is a learning lesson. Because he should have gone out there and won that fight. But I remember watching one of Ethan's, I think his last fight that got him into the UFC. He looked good. He looked fast. Good footwork. I like the way he tucked his chin. I like the way he bounced. His lateral movements. I like the way that he fought. And I was like, oh shit. I like this guy. And I remember thinking, this might be a closer fight than people realize, because everybody's so high on Wellmaker, right? He's great. He's got a fucking next level power. But here, Ethan Ewing was ready for a fight. He was ready for a scrap. He was ready for his moment. He was preparing that for like 2 days straight just to cut weight. He was ready for his moment. Where Wellmaker, I think, wasn't. I don't think he was really expecting that. And I think he was really just expecting himself to go out there and just knock the guy out. But he wasn't ready for a scrap. I think that the whole MSG, all the love he was getting from the fans, I think he was really forgetting that he was about to get into a fist fight. And it's no disrespect. I just think that was the case. He was just too... He was too chill out there in the octagon to start that fight, And as the fight went on, he just wasn't able to turn it up. He landed some good shots. Ewing took some shots, for sure, and was just able to walk right through him. And Wellmaker wasn't really able to adjust or really do anything different. He had no plan B. And that was kind of one of my worries too, because we haven't really seen all that much with Wellmaker. He puts people the fuck away, all usually in the same kind of fashion. We haven't really seen his arsenal. And here, he didn't really use much again. He had power. He landed some good shots. But at the end of the day, Ethan won that fight. He went out there and took his opportunity. And what's next for Ethan? Don't care. Whatever he does, I'm watching. I'm in. This guy's a fighter. I'm a fan. With Wellmaker, I know Cody Haddon broke his foot. But take some time off, regroup. I think you rebook that fight. I think Wellmaker and Haddon should happen. And especially with this loss, makes sense. I don't know how bad Haddon's break is. Hopefully, no longer than 12 weeks, right? Maybe rebook that fight. I'd like to see it. Next up, guys, Kyle Dawkins, bro. Subs, Gerald Mearshart, drops him early. Just Kyle, who has just been on a tear. Gerald, who's kind of been on the opposite end of the spectrum. But he's had a flourishing career, right? He's had a phenomenal UFC career. Do or die on his fucking shield, right, in GM3. And Kyle Dawkins went out there and, has been given a second opportunity with the UFC and just capitalized on the moment. Still young, right? And I feel like after his knockout to Roman, he came back too fast against a guy like Eric Anders, who's tough, right? He needed to go away. And I think this is going to be, I hate this, I don't think Kyle Dawkins is ever going to be champion, but I think we're going to see some sort of resurgence in the sense that we saw with Robbie Lawler back in the day, where he came back and started dispatching people. It's rare when you see guys leave the UFC and come back more successful. It's rare. I don't think Kyle's ever going to become champion, but I do think that he's going to get himself back into a position where he might be number 10, number 12 in the world. Dead ass serious. And as for Gerald, hate to say retire. I really do. But why take this much damage? You're 37 years old and it's happening over and over again now. You've always kind of had a penchant for taking damage. So again, just like Benny, I'd like to see some jiu-jitsu tournaments. That would be really fucking cool. But I'd also like to see GM3 as a head coach. I think he is the type of guy who I think we could definitely see be a head coach for a lot of these up-and-coming guys in the future. I'm excited to see post-UFC career of GM3. He's a fun guy, and I think he's just a wealth of knowledge, and whatever he can go out there and spread, especially in the Midwest, because I think he's a Midwest guy. I don't know if he's down in South Florida still. But I'd like to see him as a coach. I don't know. I just see him being like an Eric Nixick type of guy. But yeah. Great fight for Kyle Dawkins. Great win. Whatever he does next, I'm watching. Next up, man, Pat Sabatini defeats Chepe Mariscal by decision in a fight where, just overwhelming pressure, smothering pressure, getting the fight to the ground, nullifying the offense of Chepe for 15 minutes. And we're Pat now 8-2 within the UFC. His only loss is Damon Jackson, Diego Lopez. You cannot shit on yourself for those two losses. Now he has an opportunity to go out there against some ranked guys because he's coming off the win of Joe Anderson Brito as well. Pat's on a run, 35 years old, so now's the time. You got to strike while the iron's hot. And I think he deserves himself a ranked opponent next. Now, is that featherweight? Maybe Dan Ige. I think that would be a really cool fight next for Pat Sabatini. As for Chepe, right, first UFC loss, what was that, like a 6-fight win streak he was on, 6-7 fight win streak. What are you going to do, right? This was a rematch. Now they're 1-1, and, you can't hang your head on this. You just got, it just wasn't your night. The guy was able to nullify your offense. But what are you going to do? Chepe's still a dog, fun fighter to watch, sense of urgency, goes for the kill, grit, heart, will, determination. It just wasn't his night, right? So whatever he does next, I'm totally fucking in for. I think he's the type of guy where you bring in these guys from the Contender Series, he can dispatch them. He's a really good test to prove that if you're UFC ready, he's going to have to go on another tear if he gets an opportunity at a ranked fighter or something like that. So I think now what you do is just kind of put him in a position where maybe he's fighting guys coming off of the Contender Series and really give them an opportunity to prove if they are UFC ready. But great fight. Fun fight. Next up, Fatima Klein beat Angela Hill. Fatima's just good as fuck, right? Like, power to Angela for hanging in there in that fight where, Ange, she's up there now in age. I hate to say that out. That sounded so rude to say, and I'm sorry, Ange, if you do hear that. But that was a showing where you kind of saw it in her eyes, where the realization of maybe she just doesn't really have that top 15 ability anymore. That's kind of how I felt with that fight. Where Fatima, it was just like that passing of the torch, right? No disrespect, because Ange, dude, I love Ange's fight style. I mean, if you look her up, bro, like, she is like top like 7 all time, no matter what division, men's, women's, of total strikes. Like, she is the Max Holloway of women's fighters. She's gotten fucked on so many scorecards because of her volume style of fighting. So, what a career for Angela Hill. Even if she still decides to fight, that's cool, because it's fun to watch her compete. And it shows she still has the ability to compete. It's just not maybe against these top 10 girls. But as for Fatima, I'm curious to see too, like, how far can she take it? Because now, I mean, the way that she was able to overwhelm Angela almost everywhere was impressive as fuck. And now she's going to welcome herself into the ranked fighters. And yeah, I'm really interested to see, because now we have, the pool's not very deep in women's MMA. So to see kind of these outliers kind of jump out, it's worth paying attention to. Because there's so many times like, oh, a woman's fight's on and everybody walks out of the room, right? She's not one of those fighters. Neither was Angela Hill. So for her to go out there and dispatch Angela Hill the way she did, I'm in. I'm all in. Great win, great fight, fun fight. Next up, Bisanger Susakayev knocks out Eric McConaughey in a fight where, again, like Malcolm Wellmaker earlier or later in the fight, in the night, didn't really have that sense of urgency. He had his hands behind his back to start the fight. Kind of just playing out there. Now he got the knockout win, right? He was able to put McConaughey away, but he played too much. And in the UFC, as you go up, that's not going to fucking fly, right? That's not going to fly. I had some friends go, he's on the banned betting list. Like, because he should win, but because he fights so fucking dumb, he might not. And he's so athletically gifted that it almost might be to his own detriment, because he knows it, right? I forgot. There's a fucking meme where it's like, I'd rather have an experienced C than an ignorant A. And like in the workforce, right? Susakayev is the definition of that ignorant A. The guy who's so goddamn good, but knows he's fucking good, and it just brushes everything off to the side. He's going to get KO'd. It's going to happen if he has that attitude moving up, right? Because those other guys, they don't have that attitude, and they're going to fuck him up. But great victory, great knockout. McConaughey showed a heart, bro. You tried, you did your best, but at the end of the day, like, it's just the skill of Susakayev showed in that fight. It's just natural. But Eric, you made it interesting, definitely, in a lot of moments in that fight, and you're a dog. So I hope they don't cut you after this. I hope we get to see you fight again, because you're fun to watch. Tough knockout. Fucking cracked you. But I want to see you fight again, for sure. I hope you don't get cut. Last but not least, the fight I barely watched. So I'm not even really going to say much. But Mateus Camilo defeated Slava Claus. I had friends telling me they thought Slava Claus won, but I did not even really watch the fight, so I can't really say much about it. Yeah. So I don't know if Slava Claus is getting cut after this or what, but I had one friend say that Slava Claus is getting cut, and I had one friend tell me that he thought Slava Claus won the fight. He thought it was a complete robbery. But I don't know if he bet on him or not, so I don't know. But I didn't really pay attention to that fight whatsoever, and I wasn't going to rewatch it either. But guys, that's going to do it for UFC 322. If you're still fucking watching 34 minutes into this, you better be a subscriber. And let me know what you think of all these fights. Don't forget to let me know in the comment section. Thank you for sticking through. It's early as fuck in the morning, so I'm sorry if I sounded dumb as shit. But guys, that's going to do it for today. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.